this is just something I made here, which is very fragile in a way, floppy. I mean, you can lift it up and pass it from hand to hand, but you certainly can't put it down too hard. And what's interesting about it is that it's constructed entirely from triangles. They're the triangles you can see, and that no line is a double layer line. It's completely self-supporting, albeit not very strong. It's hard to see in the middle is a kind of a cube. Alright, but roughly speaking, there's a so these 4 triangles are half of a shape which has 8 triangles, and they meet. So the bottom is there. There's a square on the bottom. That's the reflection of this square. There's one on the bottom just there, and there's 6 of them that meet. The inner squares of this meet and make a cube in the middle, but they share. There's not 6 individual shapes plugged together. They actually share a face, so you don't need as many triangles to add the shape to the other shape. So you can see, for example, this triangle here in the middle of these 2 in there is shared by this shape and that shape. So that's why it's all single rows of magnets, and it all works out, it all lines up, all the loops match where they're meant to match. There's nothing forced about the whole thing at all. Alright, the only downside is it's not that strong. That's the biggest one. On the way to making that, so I can put that down and pick it up again. It's not completely fragile. Be a bit careful. On the way to making that, I made these smaller versions. I think this one's the identical one, just smaller. Actually, that has collapsed a bit, but see, it just pops out again. It doesn't want to collapse. It was just the other one's just too heavy. It's a similar kind of a thing. Again, all single lines. And it's probably hard to see the interior cube. You can sort of see it there. Not really. So those corners collapse a bit, but they just pull out again. That's not that hard. And this is an intermediate size. The same thing. I did have one before that was slightly different shape, but it wasn't going to work. You couldn't keep building it. But you could build it a little bit and it would work, but the geometry didn't match up. This has got its own internal square as well. You can see there's lines of symmetry through the middle. Well, not lines of symmetry, but like lines of sight through the middle. So every square, obviously. I don't really, well, there's probably sort of lines through the triangles, not really. I think they're the only 3 that are similar, so that's those 3. It might now be instructive if I dismantled this one before your very eyes, and then it might be possible to see how it's constructed. So what I'm going to do is just nip off one shape. Okay. It's made of sort of parts of, if there was another ball there, that'd be a triangle. Well, I'll just take it to bits and then you'll be able to see. So, one. gradually, the last one I only had to add half a shape, and they're gradually becoming more and more whole shapes. This is 3 of them clipped together, and you can sort of see the 3 squares that make up that internal cube I was talking about before.
I want to do my noodles.
Okay. Take that one off as well. More and more I'm adding a whole one. There's 3/4 of one. And here you can see 2 of these balls. Right, that's made up of 4 triangles that have just meet. So to make that, I'll show you how to make that later. But you can just clip that off, and that's all. But that's a whole one there. Put that down there. And this is a whole one bar the last triangle. And the last triangle I actually use one of these triangles. So I actually I pick a triangle, say that triangle, and I actually, perhaps that was a bad one to pick. Every second triangle is the opposite polarity, so you don't have to worry about making them the right way. You just pick the other triangle if it's wrong, if you pick the wrong one first time. And you just clip it on, so that triangle is going to meet these ones. And you've got 2 stacked together. And you just keep putting it back, the reverse of what I just took apart. It's actually not that hard, except that it's a bit, if you make a big one, it's a bit floppy. So really what I need to do is just explain this shape. This shape, I'll put that there and I'll make a new one. What you do is you make 4 triangles of whatever size. So there I've made, what are they, 5 to a side, so that means there's 4 times 3 magnets, and you can make different sizes, but these are going to be 12 magnet triangles. And since the opposite polarity triangles that join them all are going to share corners with those triangles, they will only have 9 in them, and they won't be triangles, they'll be just It was a square, not a triangle. So there's 4 of those, and then we need 4 with 9 in it, so that's 9 there, and 9, and 9, oh. 1, 2, 3, another 9, like that. Having done that, they just don't want to construct. You just clip them all in, and so you're putting in, with the 9, you're putting in the last corner of the triangle using the existing triangles. Right, so all the 9s, the polarity is one direction, and all the other triangles, the actual triangle, the 12 triangles, the polarity is in the correct direction. So if you try and put it into the wrong thing, you won't be able to. So it will repel. So that's the last one. I'll put a 9 on it. Oh, wrong way. So well, you will be able to, but it won't look right. Put it that way. So the triangle starting to form. That one. Right, and you've got your basic shape. This is similar to a previous video where I showed how to make the intersecting hexagons, incidentally, so that if you look at that shape around there, That's like a hexagon, and there's exactly 4 of those, and you can actually just run a ring around and build it up and make it like a hexagon planes coming out too. And there's a separate video I've made just earlier to show how that's done. Okay.